Good morning, everybody. And we're live today. We're going to do it live because you know why? Because I have a road race that I have to go to. Yes, I am going to do a road race. 3K. No, 5K. It's a 5K road race. Yes, I know. Yes, I am actually going to do it. And that's the whole point. So I think we're live. I think we're going on. And today's Thank You Sunday. Today is Sunday, September 25th, 2022. And on Sundays here at the Amazing Grace Sports Network, we'd like to give thanks to all the things that have contributed to our lives. Then, after we do those things, we will go over the games for Sunday in week 3. So let us start off. I'd like to give thanks to, of course, my mother and my father. And they made this all possible, dealing with me. Um, they took care of me, and I have a brother and 2 sisters. So between the 4 of us, we made life heck for them, and they put up with us. So there's a lot to be thankful in that situation. I'd like to thank God. I'd like to thank my aunts and my uncles. I should have thanked God first. So I thank God. Then I thank my parents because He brought those two together in order to make me. And then my aunts and my uncles on each side, many who have passed away, and for the ones who are still living, thank you very much for living because we just had a family reunion, and I tried to get in touch and stay in touch with as many of them as possible. And of course, I thank you for the cousins that were produced between my aunts and my uncles. Okay, let's get on to week number 3 in the NFL. The theme for this week is actually from William Shakespeare and his play Venus and Apollo, and it goes, "Make use of time. Let not advantage slip. Beauty within itself should not be wasted. Fair flowers gather not in their prime. They rot and consume themselves in little time." I think I need to say it again. Make use of time. Let not advantage slip. Beauty within itself should not be wasted. Fair flowers that are not gathered in their prime rot and consume themselves in time, which means there's no time to waste in the NFL. You have to get moving. You have to get grooving. You have to get going because it's going to be over. That's right. It's going to be over. So let's get on to these games. Beginning. First game, 1 o'clock games. The marquee game of this matchup of this 1 o'clock week is the Miami Dolphins playing the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Bills are going to Miami. So that is a little bit of advantage for Miami. The Dolphins, both teams are undefeated at this time. They're both 2-0. And really, this is a toss-up game if you think about it, because the Bills have so much. Well, let's just start off with the Dolphins. The Dolphins have so much firepower with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and I think they have a run back who I can't remember, but I will remember your name. Don't worry about it. I will get to that. And they managed to put up 42 points on the Baltimore Ravens, which is a pretty good defensive team. But I'm going with the Bills. Yes, because the Bills have Stephon Diggs, and they have Gabriel Davis, and they have another receiver that I can't remember, and they have a pretty good running back, and of course, Josh Allen, 2 attacks. Josh Allen, 2 attacks. Of course, I'm going with Josh Allen, and it's up to you who you go with, but I'm picking the Bills to win. On the second game, we have the Kansas City Colts going to Indianapolis to play the Colts. Now, the Colts have not won a game. They've tied one and they've lost one. And they got beat down last week by Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars, which does not bode well when you play Kansas City with Magic Patrick Mahomes, and the weapons that he has. This is going to be a tough one. It's going to really be a tough one, but I'm going to go with Kansas City just because they have Patrick Mahomes, and the quarterback for Indianapolis is Matt Ryan, who got beat up last week pretty good. Don't know if he's going to be out there this week, and if he is, he might not be out there for too long. The next are the Lions. The Detroit Lions are going to Minnesota in order to play the Vikings. Now, the whole world is on edge. Everyone is sitting on edge because the Lions won last week. Yes. And now they can actually win 2 games in a row. And that hasn't happened since John L. Sullivan was the world boxing champion. Or maybe Jack Dempsey. Okay. Maybe when Joe Louis was the okay, because Joe Louis came out of Detroit, and maybe that was some luck, and Detroit actually won 2 games in a row. No, actually, I think the last time they won 2 games in a row was in the 1960s. Okay, maybe the 70s. Anyway, the Vikings lost last week, and they're playing at home. And okay, I'm not gonna bet on the Lions to win, but I'm sure hopeful that they will do it. Next on the list is Texas, the Texans. And they used to be called the Houston Texans. Whatever, they just call them the Texans now, and they have another team in the state of Texas, is the Dallas Cowboys. So anyway, the Texans are going to Chicago, Soldiers Field, to play the Chicago Bears. Now, the Chicago Bears just lost last week, as they usually do, to the Green Bay Packers. Whenever the Packers lose, which they did, they lost to the Vikings. And then, of course, they need their best friend to come in and pat them on the back and let them cry on the shoulder and beat them, which is what Chicago always does. They always let Green Bay come in, or just Green Bay beat them wherever they are, whether it's in Green Bay or Chicago. It doesn't matter. Chicago just rolls over and plays dead. And they did last week. So Chicago lost last week. And they will be playing the Texans. I think the Texans lost too. I don't know if anybody's following the Texans, but I think they lost. Let's just leave it at that. They're playing in Chicago. And as much as I dislike the Bears because it's such a dysfunctional organization, Mitch Trubisky comes to mind, and they've been so dysfunctional for so long that it pains me, but I'm going to pick the Bears to beat the Texans. Who is the Texans quarterback? I think, okay, we won't even get into the quarterbacks. Let's just move on. It's Thank You Sunday, and we thank you that they have quarterbacks. Okay. In the battle of the win list, the Tennessee Titans will play host to the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes. Las Vegas lost to Arizona, and then they lost to another team in the first week that they should have won, but they lost. And the Titans, I think they lost to the Jets. No, they lost to the Giants. The Titans lost to the Giants in the first week, and they were just crushed. They were just crushed by the Bills in, I think it was Monday Night Football. Yeah. Crushed. Yes. That being the case, who do you pick in this one? Do we pick the Raiders or the Titans? Now, the Titans are supposed to be the better team, but I'm going with the Raiders because the Raiders actually had one more day of rest, seeing as the Titans played on Monday and the Raiders lost on Sunday. So the Raiders lost on Sunday. That's right, they lost. And the Titans lost on Monday. 2 losing teams. Somebody's got to win, though. So look at it this way. No matter how you look at it, one of these teams are going to come out with a win. Okay. That ought to excite the people in Las Vegas and in the Titans land, Tennessee. Probably they're playing in Memphis or Nashville. One of the two. Now, the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints will travel to Charlotte, North Carolina to take on the Panthers. The quarterbacks of these 2 teams, one Baker Mayfield and the other Jameis Winston, were once number 1 draft picks in the NFL. Number 1. They're both on their second teams, and it won't be long before they are on their third teams, from what I see. Now, that being the case, one of them has got to win today. And I think both of them are 1-1. And I am going to go with, Carolina. They're playing at home. And they're playing at home. And that's the only thing I can say that might give them an edge. We'll just go with that. Now, New England. New England's going to be playing this week. Let me see who they're playing. The Baltimore Ravens. The New England Patriots are playing the Baltimore Ravens at New England. And the Ravens lost last week. And the Patriots won last week. And the Patriots beat the Steelers, which is no big deal because some other team just beat the Steelers in Monday Night Football. Was it Thursday night? I think it was Thursday night. They beat them in Thursday Night Football. And the Steelers really are a mediocre team because Mike Tomlin is a mediocre coach. I know that's going to come as a surprise to some, but he won in 2008, and he has not won in 15 years since then. Essentially, he won with the team that Bill Cowher left. I know that hurts a lot of feelings. But, we aren't here to make you feel better. We're here to tell you the truth so that you have an advantage when you talk sports. That's right. We don't want you making a fool of yourself when you talk about sports, because sports is a lifeblood of America and of every red-blooded American and of every red-blooded male in the world. Sports. So you should know what you're talking about. But I got off track. What I'm saying is that New England beat the Steelers. Yes. And the Ravens, they lost to Miami. Now that was a game, man. That was a game. That Ravens-Dolphins game was a game. And you can't take away from either of those two teams. Now, I still don't think Lamar Jackson is a pocket passer. I think he can throw. He's got a great arm. But as far as being accurate and precise, he's not there yet. But on the other hand, we have Mac Jones. Mac Jones, he looks a little bit beat up. And I don't know if he's going to make it through the season. But for this game, he's healthy enough to play. Now, seeing as that Baltimore lost and New England won, I don't think that makes much of a difference because John Harbaugh cannot stand Bill Belichick at all. These two have had a running feud for the last 10 to 15 years, as long as Harbaugh has been the coach of the Ravens, and they have gone back and forth and back and forth. Harbaugh doesn't hide his displeasure of Belichick, and Belichick, he just acts the same toward everyone, like dismissive, which is probably why Harbaugh can't stand him. So, to make a long story short, I'm taking the Ravens in Foxborough because I expect the Ravens to come out with some firepower, and I think they have enough studs to make big plays, which is what you need when you play a Bill Belichick team. You need studs who are going to make plays. You can't go in there playing conservative. You can't go in there thinking ball control. You got to go in there trying to bust some butt. And when you do that, then you start busting some butt, and that's what happens. So I'm picking the Ravens to go with that. Now, is there another 1 o'clock game? I don't think so. And if there is, I'm sorry that I missed you or I overlooked you, but we are pressed for time because, as I said, let me show this to you. This is the Glen Doherty Road Race. Glen Doherty Road Race, and I'm in the 5K. So I don't have a lot of time to ponder all of this. Oh, yeah. There is another game that has to be played at 1 o'clock, and that's just because it's scheduled. It's the game of the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Philadelphia's going to go into Washington and just kick some Commander butt. The Eagles, they seem like they got a pretty good quarterback in Jalen Hurts. I wasn't really sold on him in the beginning, but he has matured. He can throw and he can run. He can mostly run and then throw. But he does it well enough to be a threat and a pretty good threat. And that's not going to bode well for the Commanders, who have Carson Wentz. Now, the intrigue in this one is that Carson Wentz was drafted by the Eagles. And he was their quarterback the year the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. That's right. He was there, but they weren't going anywhere. They were just kind of middling and just hanging in there. And then Carson Wentz got hurt, a la Drew Bledsoe with Tom Brady. and Nick Foles came in. And Nick Foles, St. Nick, took the Eagles from the blink of oblivion, took them to the Super Bowl, and won the Super Bowl against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick when he inexplicably decides to set out his starting cornerback, Malcolm Butler. Just basically giving the game away. But, Bill Belichick, he does what's best for the team. Anyway, Carson Wentz was the quarterback. And then after that, he didn't do too well. Nick Foles, they took the job away from Nick Foles after he won the Super Bowl, which caused a lot of consternation in Philadelphia. Nick Foles is with another team, not Nick Foles. Nick Foles is with another team now. Carson Wentz eventually gets traded. Maybe not even picked up. Anyway, Carson Wentz is now the quarterback of the Washington Commanders. And he's going to be playing against his former team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Expect the Eagles to just walk in there. I know Wentz is going to be motivated, but I don't see it. Listen, anything can happen in the NFL. I'm just saying there's a game. Now, we are going to move on. The Los Angeles Rams. No. That's 4 o'clock. Now, for the 4 o'clock games, 4 o'clock, the marquee matchup is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Green Bay Packers. Tom Terrific Brady against Aaron Nonchalant Rodgers. Now, between those two quarterbacks, it features the two quarterbacks who should have won the MVP in the NFL the last 2 years against the quarterback who did win the NFL in the last 2 years. Yeah, one should have won it for the past 2 years, and one actually did win it because, they just hate Tom Brady more than they hate Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers received for some reason, Mr. Nonchalant received the MVP for the last 2 seasons when he hasn't won anything. Which brings us to think about the whole NFL thing. Can they be on the level if the guy who doesn't win actually keeps getting the MVP? But let's get past that because we are talking about the NFL and we can't really think about that. But it's just out there. That being said, Tom Brady has a bone to pick with one Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers has won the MVP the last 2 years when Tom Brady has actually deserved it. So Tom Brady wants a piece of Aaron Rodgers, but is he going to get it? Because Tom Brady has no receivers. That's right. Mike Evans has been suspended. Chris Godwin was hurt. Julio Jones is hurt once again. We might call this age. Sorry, Julio. Love you, Julio. Really do. But the age or the sign of age in the NFL is constant injury, one injury after another. And I wish you well. I really do hope you come back because, Tom Brady is a favorite of mine, and I would like to see Tom go to another Super Bowl and win. And if you are at 95% or 90% or even 80% of what you used to be, Julio, it's a done deal. But that being said, Tom Brady is down receivers. His main running back, Leonard Fournette, is hobbled. Yes, Leonard Fournette was hurt in the last game. And he doesn't have Gronk, and his tight ends are unproven. So we're looking at it, and that's not even the worst of it. The worst of it is that his offensive line can't even block a bunch of 80-year-old geriatric men who, if they had walkers, Tom is under pressure constantly and totally. That being said, I'm picking Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win. I just can't bet against Tom. Even when the odds are like daunting, something might happen and generally does happen. Tom might have to punt, pass, kick, and run the ball himself in order to get it done. And at 46 years old, he has enough experience. That's right, boys and girls, experience to do it. So in the marquee game, the 4 o'clock games today in week 3, Tom Brady against Aaron Rodgers. I am picking Tom. I will chew through nails Brady to win the game. Next, the Los Angeles Rams are going to Arizona to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona won last week. and they come from behind victory against the Las Vegas Raiders. Derek Carr, what can you say? Derek is Derek, and Derek is just he's a pretty darn good quarterback, but he is never able to close the deal. Kyler Murray, on the other hand, for being 4'9" and maybe weighs 65 pounds, he looks like he's in junior high, keeps embarrassing the NFL. They can't catch him. They can't tackle him. They have no idea what he runs for 15 to 20 yards, and he's never touched. You see guys falling and flailing all over the place. It's truly a phenomenon as you think of it. It's for that reason alone, I got to go with Arizona. Yes, I'm going with Arizona. No. We're talking about the Los Angeles Rams. And Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald and a heck of a defense. And I'm going with Los Angeles. I may get proven wrong. I may be wrong. And I'm often more wrong than right. But we're going to go with Los Angeles in this one. In a game of futility, but it's actually pretty funny. The Atlanta Falcons are going to Seattle to play the Seahawks. We have Marcus Mariota against Geno Smith. Now, as I said, I went to a family reunion down where it was actually in Tennessee, but most of my family is from Georgia. Yes, Georgians. How you doing? Yes, Georgians. Hi to all of you and all you Atlanta Falcon fans. And most of you were glad that Matt Ryan was gone. You said, I talked to my cousins. They said they needed a running quarterback, that the pocket quarterback was dead. And so they were happy to get Marcus Mariota over Matt Ryan. Well, Matt Ryan at least has a tie game. Atlanta Falcons, you still don't have anything. And I don't think you're going to win this week either. I think you're going to go to Seattle and lose against the Seahawks and Geno Smith. Why? Why not? Is there a reason why you should win? Is there an overwhelming reason, like great quarterback, great running back, wide receivers, great defense? No, there's not. There's none of that. And since there's none of that, there's no reason why you should win. So I'm picking the Seahawks and the 12th man to take care of Atlanta in Seattle. Just hold on a second. I'll be right back. I just got to put let me check what time it is. Oops, I got 15 minutes. I'm going to have to go. God said, let there be light, and there's now light. All right. In the 8 o'clock game, let's see, Los Angeles is going to play, the Eagles. Okay. There was an 8 o'clock game on where the 49ers are going into Denver. Yes. The San Francisco 49ers are going into Denver to play the Broncos. Now, the intrigue in this game, if there is any, is that Jimmy Garoppolo is now back as the starting quarterback of San Francisco. Now, Jimmy didn't play his cards right. Jimmy just should have left when they wouldn't give him a contract. He just should have left. And right now, they would have been calling him back saying, Jimmy, how much do you want? Because they got him for a bargain basement deal of $7 million. He just signed on to be the backup for $7 million. If he had left San Francisco and then they had to call him back, he could have commanded whatever price he wants. So next time, I think it's a lesson to all of you out there, all of you working men and all of you working women. Know your worth, okay? Know your worth. People actually want you. And if you've done a good job, people will want you to be with them. Maybe the company doesn't appreciate you that you're with. Maybe they are so high-handed and high-minded of themselves that they think you're the problem. Well, San Francisco, with their head coach Kyle Shanahan, the guy who lost the Super Bowl for the Atlanta Falcons when everyone else keeps blaming Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was just running the plays. Kyle Shanahan was sending in those plays. When he should have been running, he kept telling Matt Ryan, drop back in a 4-step, 5-step drop back and try to pass the ball. He's the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, They're going in to play Denver, who basically are quite inexperienced in coaching, and they have Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson is a bust. Sorry, everybody. Sorry to give you bad news, but Russell Wilson is a bust. Something has happened to his arm, and he can't throw the way he used to. Well, Denver paid a lot of money, but they're not going to get the results from what I can see. If Denver wins this game, it won't be because of Russell Wilson. It will be just because it will be because San Francisco is just so darn bad. But we will see. I'm taking San Francisco to win because I haven't seen Russell Wilson hit anybody on the fly while they're in motion that they haven't had to stop or try to pick up the ball or the ball didn't fly over their heads. Now, in short passes, he's throwing balls over people's heads. In long passes, he can't seem to reach them. What does that mean? You know what that means. Well, in typical nowadays quarterback speak, Russell said, pay me the money, and he doesn't care. So nobody's supposed to say what I just said, that Russell Wilson is not a good quarterback anymore. Now, there's one more game, the Monday night game. The Monday night game, Monday Night Football. Are you ready for some football? It's going to involve the surprisingly undefeated New York Football Giants taking on the Dallas Cowboys with some guy who was the backup quarterback who's now the quarterback. And I know I'm doing you a disservice by saying this and not knowing your name, but I don't know your name. That being said, Dallas did not look good when they had Dak Prescott as their quarterback. But Dallas did win with this guy as their quarterback when they played the Bengals. That's right. Dallas did win. They won that game. That being said, they're going into, well, New Jersey, not really going to New York. Giant Stadium is in New Jersey. They're going there into the Meadowlands to play the Giants, who are 2-0. And in my upset of the week, I am going to take the Dallas Cowboys and their no-name quarterback to me, which is really an indictment against me, not the quarterback. Remember that. It's not an indictment against you that I don't know your name. It's an indictment against me. I should be better. I should be further up on this. I should know your name so that I could give you proper props since I am picking you to win. Because the Giants are high on the hog after winning 2 games in a row, and I don't see this insanity going on. 3 games, not the Giants. They had the 4th worst record over the last 3 years, and if they win 3 in a row, anything is possible. If they win 3 in a row, anything is possible, and we all know anything is possible. But I'm not picking them for 3 more. But what I do want to say is, if they win 3 in a row, ladies and gentlemen, anything that's going wrong in your life can change, because the Giants would be perfect picture proof of that happening. That you can change everything around if you put your mind to it and your body to it and your will to it. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it being 9:51 on a Sunday, and with the Glenn Doherty road race starting in 2 hours that I have to get ready for, I have to say, hasta la vista, hasta luego, bon voyage, vaya con Dios, and everything else that has to come with it. Thank you, everybody, for showing up on the live Sunday. I wish you well, and I encourage you to go for it. Whatever it is in life, go for it. Don't spend all your time watching football games. Watch football games and let that encourage you to go for what you want to go for in life. Thank you. Have a good day. It's Claymore signing off. Have a good Sunday. Thank you. Thank you for being there. And of course, we thank the NFL for giving us entertainment. Talk to you soon. Bye.